Hi everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the Django and React Focus. And in this episode, we are going to be connecting our app to the backend instead. So I already made some series of videos on my channel where I covered how you can build the backend, how you can build the REST API for this project instead. So I have about 7 videos. I have about 7 videos on the channel. You can see them this green, the videos with the green thumbnail. It is a Django and React. So it is a Django REST framework tutorial. I have about 7 episodes that covered the backend. So if you are interested, you can go and check them out. I'm also going to drop the link to this playlist in this video's description so you can check it out for yourself. So the backend has been built. So right now it's time for us to connect the front end to the backend, right? So we are going to do that right now. So first thing first, so let me just, okay, here's our front end code and here's the backend code that has been built already from this series of videos I made here. This Django REST framework tutorial. There are 7 of them. You can check them out. So, yep, so that's that. So here's our backend, here's our front end, and it's time to connect them together. And Django has a package called Django course headers. So we're going to use this package to connect our front end and back end together. So it's called Django course headers. So search for it. So it's coming on and it's here already. So there is a website called stackorg.com. So click on the link. I just clicked on it there. So they have a comprehensive guide on how you can connect your Django app to a front-end framework like React. So a front-end library like React rather instead. So yeah, so here is it now. It says course is a mechanism to allow interaction with resources hosted on different domains. So that's what course is. Okay, now let's go straight. Let's head straight to the point. So for you guys, try and read this article so you can have a comprehensive overview of what Django course is. So first and first, we have to install this package called Django course headers. So I'll just simply copy it, copy the pip install. So copy this pip install now, back to your Django project. I told you that Django tutorial is live, so you can get the source code in this video's description. Everything is there. So I'll open a new command prompt my Django app. So right now I'm going to paste this command and hit enter. Yep, so we're going to install the Django course headers. While it is installing, we have to copy this and take it down to our installed apps. Head over to your backend now, to the Django code, and there is a file called settings.py file. You'll find that file inside of your Django project. And here's my Django project. So yeah, so I'll paste that line in the installed apps region. Here it is. Oh, sorry. Paste. Yeah, so we've got that now. So what's the next step? So we have to also add this middleware, copy this middleware, the one on top, the course middleware, copy it. And you have to make sure this middleware is on top of the common middleware in your Django app. Back to our Django app, in this settings.py file, there is a region called middleware. So we have to paste the course middleware on top of the common middleware, on top of it. Yep, so just there. And once it's done, what's the next step? So yeah, so we have to add this allowed origins. So these are the list of front-end domains that can access our backend. That's what the course allowed origin stands for. So I'll scroll down. Let me go down to the bottom of my projects and I'll just come over here. Right now, right now, our front-end app is on 5174. Sometimes it can be on 5173. So it's always from 5173 upward, right? So I'm going to just put in some of those numbers now. So for this one, just say 5173. I'll copy this, Ctrl C. Now paste it. This should be. I'll remove orders. I don't need them. Don't worry, you're gonna have the source code in this video's description, so don't bother So 5173, 5174, 5175. So yeah, so I think that's all we need to do for us to connect to the backend. Yes, that's all we need to do. So I'm going to run my backend code again on the server. So let's say Python manage.py, run server 8001, hit enter. Okay, let's just for it. Okay, currently I'm running my own backend on port 8001. As for you, you can stick with port 8000 if you want to. Okay, now here's our backend. It's good. We are good on the backend now. So let's go back to our front end. Back to our front end now. So we have to install a package called Axios. So with Axios, you can make API requests to the backend with Axios, understand? So by default we have the fetch, we have the fetch, but Axios is much more sophisticated than the fetch API. So we are going to say npm install Axios, hit enter. So while Axios is being installed, we are going to create a new file in the source folder. Yeah, in our source folder, we're going to create a new file. Just right click on the source folder, right click on it, new file. We're going to call the file api.js. So here's where our API configuration will lie. They'll all be here, right? They'll all be here. So currently we're going to say, currently we have Axios trying to get installed. So right now I'm going to say import Axios from Axios, right? So let's just for Axios to install, and then I'm going to say const API should be equal to, you're going to say Axios dot create. I'll explain what this is doing. I'll explain. Give me some time. Let me just write the code. Axios dot create, and I'm going to say base URL should be equal to. So I'm going to declare our base URL up here. I'm going to say const base URL. Our base URL is our Django URL. You remember this URL we have here. There's our base URL. This is our Django. This is our base URL for the backend. And currently it is going to say HTTP. So in small HTTP. Then I'll say 127.0.0.1, and then port 8001. So here's our base URL. So right now, just put the base URL here. It's as simple as, then I'm going to say export defaults API. Okay, so we've done this now. That's perfect now. So what we just did now is this now. So let me just show them. Let me show you some things. So back to our backend code now. Over to my urls.py file. So you can see now I have my URLs here. The register user, the crates. Let me make this bigger. So I have my backend endpoints. The first one is the register user. The other one is called create blog. The other one is called blog lists. You can see updates, deletes, and updates user. So these are my, so these URLs here. These are our endpoints. These are where we are going to make our request to, right? So remember, if you're making a request now, you're going to say, most time you're going to say fetch, and then we're going to put in this URL. We're going to simply just like, so right now with Axios, you're going to see something like this. Let me just show you. If you want to make a request to the backend, you're going to just something like something. You're going to say const. I'm going to say response should be equal to Axios.get. So I'm going to say Axios.get. Then you put in your base URL, right? 127.0.0.1, and then port 8001. Then you say blog lists. Right now, we're trying to get our blog list, right? So this is how we do it by default. We're going to say Axios.get, then the base URL, then the endpoint, right? But with this our configuration, it's what we've done here now. We can simply just say API.get, then the endpoints. Remember, these are the endpoints here. These are the endpoints from the backend. For example, register user is an endpoint, create blog is an endpoint, blog list is an endpoint. So these are the endpoints on the left, right? So instead of us having to add the base URL. We will not do that again. We are going to just simply add the endpoints to make our request. So right now, this configuration we just did here is just for us just like make our request straight to the endpoints. You don't have to add the base URL again to your requests. You get, so that's why we did make this configuration over here. Hope you understood. So now here's our API configuration done already. So what's the next thing? So you're going to create a new folder called services. Services, going to say services. So here is where I'm going to create a new file in the folder called, I'm going to create the file is going to be called, so I'm going to say API blog.js. Yeah, so in this file now, we are going to write all our functions to fetch our API. We are going to write all the functions to fetch our API in this file, right? So, and we are going to use something called React query to make our request to the backend. We are going to use React query. React query is fantastic. It has catching features. Don't worry, I'll show you all those things. So right now, we are going to write the functions to call our APIs in this file. So the first function we want to write is the one that helps us to fetch our blogs. So we're going to write that next.